Live. Here we go. We're live. Oh,
Hi.
there
Hi.
we go. That looks better. You like I had all
How's
this time to look at the camera and adjust it, and I was just ignoring it until now.
Oh God.
I love how
You were
because
fucking
of the
off.
green screen, it looks like it's just absolute water that you're pouring. And as far as YouTube is concerned, it is water.
What is
This
happening?
I don't know what is happening.
Oh, I got it. I got the stream up on like 3 different locations from posting it to like our Patreon and it's like echoing like 5 different places. It's giving me. I thought I had schizophrenia there for a minute.
I mean, let's not rule it out. But anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Tower Podcast. We are a Wheel of Time podcast, though you wouldn't know it by the first 20-ish minutes of our show. Sometimes
That's in the past. We're serious podcasters,
but it could also be in the future. It's time. It's like a circle,
or like a wheel.
Yeah, it's like a circle. Anyway, I am one of your hosts. My name is Andrew. I'm the Bajan Mahil. I lead the battles, and battle today we shall against what?
My name is Josh.
The forces of darkness. I don't know.
My name is Josh. I am the Soroban Mahale. I call the storms. And if you mess with me, I'm gonna call a storm on your ass. That's how we do this. You know what? I'm gonna take my hair down and everything, because that's how I do. How are you doing, Andrew? How's things going with you, man?
What?
I said, how you doing? How's things going with you? Can you hear me? You can't hear me, can you? you good there, buddy? So while Andrew is messing with his headset that seems to have wanted to mess around with him, if he was a little bit more focused and had a little bit less head fuzz, he'd be doing a whole lot better. And the best way to do that is by going to w.gg and getting some dubby, because you got to get your dubby. You got to do your dubby. You got to do your daily dubby. It's great. It's sugar-free energy. They got really good flavors. It's much cheaper. Ooh, my hair's all kinds of funky today. It's much cheaper than going and getting your $4 Monster Energy drinks. Which, by the way, did you know that shit was $4 a pop? Because for years, I just didn't even think about it. I'd just go and grab a Monster and call it a day and be like, sweet, let's go. And no. Look at the price. Look at the price. Those things are expensive. With W, you can get a tub. I think a single tub is like $15. And if you add in the sale code BTP, you get 10% off. And they've got packs that are always really advantageous. But you get a tub of the powder. You put a little scoop in a water bottle, call it a day, and boom, you're good to go. It's great.
So, can you hear me? Is this thing working?
Yes,
now?
I can hear you now.
Sweet. I can hear you now too. If it happens again, I'm going to switch over to my Steel series, which I need to make sure are actually charging.
Yeah, get those charged up, buddy, because you know that's going to happen.
Yeah. I love technology.
I just told everybody about how amazing Dubby is.
They're
and how everybody should go do a Dubby.
Like 40
it's
bucks
40?
a tub. Yeah.
Oh, I lied to them.
But that's why
I told them it was 20.
You use BTP and you get 10% off, and it brings you closer to 20. So,
but it does bring you closer to 20. Yes.
Yeah. But I think it's each one's got like 30-ish servings or something like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what that's what I was
30
saying.
servings. So yeah, like
That-
$4 a pop for a monster every day
Yes,
times
that's
30.
insane, right?
That's $120 a month in monsters if you did one every day to get the same amount. Or you can just spend uh 40 bucks minus 10% when you use our code, and then bam, like you're ultimately you're saving a bunch of money, and it's better for you.
Yes, yes. So if you're looking for a way to get a little bit of energy and not risk all that other stuff, and you want it to be a little bit more of a healthy option, W's your choice. Tonight's episode, we're really excited about it. It's another one of our freaky episodes in which we're going to be postulating. We're going to be pontificating. We're going to be
Like a circle, but like a freaky circle.
like a freaky circle.
I just rewatched Ragnarok.
It's good, isn't it?
It is.
It's a little like extra for me, but I expected it going into it because it's a Taika Waititi movie, and I know other people may not have been expecting that because oh my god, this chair is gonna break. Before this, you watch, mark my words. Before this episode's done, I'm gonna like fall out of this chair. My chair is gonna break up in half.
It's like our most disorganized episode so far because I'm trying to find where I put all my charging cables. Like this is like
I'm gonna take a. I gotta take a
caliber episode.
Right. I gotta take a corner off of your man card. You don't know where all your cables are. Where's your hardware drawer? Where's your hardware drawer?
The worst part is I plug them all into the USB hub and wrap them around each other so they'd be together and easily accessible.
Do you know how I got around that? Do you know how I got around that?
How's that?
I have my desk charger. I have my bed charger. I have my couch charger. My table charger. My kitchen charger. That eliminated the need for me to move anything. I was just like, nope, here it is.
Found them. They were sitting right there, right in front of my face in the closet.
There it is.
Right in front of my face in the closet.
Right in front of your face.
You know, they were in the last place I looked, which is the thing that I love. Because in the words of, was it Bill Engvall? I would sure hope so.
Yeah, I mean, why would you keep
I found
looking,
it,
right?
but then I kept looking. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We got our first comment of the evening. Congratulations. You are featured on the Black Tower podcast.
You never know, Rob. You never know.
With comedy gold like this, Rob's got a good future of comedy ahead of him.
Rob's always been a funny guy.
That's
Funny
true.
guy.
That just makes me right.
Are you still laughing now, Mr. Funny Guy?
Mr. Funny Guy? Funny man. Listen, funny man. I am having a chitty day. Tell me a funny joke. Well, before we get into tonight's episode, we should really strap on our spoiler warning.
Oh yeah, I have those.
Yeah, that would be you.
Yeah.
But we could do that, one, to protect our audience, and two, to give you a little bit of time to get your shit together.
Oh.
You know, the shit you could have done beforehand, but, it's cool. I'm not done.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you drink up, Buttercup.
That's the Dark One's Fang, the Dragon's Fang. That means the episode has been taintified.
Everything we do is tainted, but
Sometimes the taint is stronger.
here's Here's the spoiler warning for this one. Here we go. From our fantastic friends over at Gleeman's Apprentice.
The Black Tower stands fully erect.
When the tower is bulging at full erectness, you must protect yourself from tainty spoilers.
Your spoiler condom must cover the immense girthiness of all 14 books of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time.
With an itty bitty tip at the top for the prequel New Spring.
If your condom is too small, you will get tainty spoiler jizz all up in your eye.
Or ears. You have been warned.
Eyes and ears. Those are the main two pieces that will be affected by tainty spoiler jizz.
Yep. Happens all the time. Answer the message real quick.
But yeah, do you want to tell them what tonight's episode's all about, Andrew? I feel like I'm stealing all the thunder here.
I could. Well, you're not, because I am woefully ill prepared for life.
So I was trying to be nice to you.
I mean, you're not wrong, and you're always nice to me. Well, most of the time.
I always
Sometimes
try
you need
to be
tough
nice
love.
to you.
It's an effort sometimes. It's an effort.
It is. It really is.
So, tonight's episode, as you might guess by the title of What's in Tarnation is Reincarnation, we're going to talk about the nature of trees. No, we're going to talk about reincarnation in the Wheel of Time. And kind of how it works, how it seems to work, what clues we get about reincarnation from the books, kind of how the characters talk about it, how it seems the characters view the prospect of reincarnation or the afterlife, and all that fun jazz and jizz and zip zappity doodah.
And Jaws.
The Jaws. I mean,
Jabra.
if you're doing movie night, I guess you can.
I guess. Dude, Jaws is a good one, though. Everybody's going to watch that movie again. You're going to need a bigger boat.
So I was at the let's call it they call it the MCX on Marine Corps bases, but we know it as a PX. I found this
PX.
Soldier Valley whiskey. What's cool is the bottle is actually shaped like one of the old like Vietnam era canteens.
Oh, dude.
So that's pretty dope. Like, it's even got like the concave curve in the back.
That's cool.
So we'll see.
Okay, not to date myself or anything like that, but that you said Vietnam era. That's like what I carried at basic training. So.
Yeah, well, I was like more so getting at like the old metal canteens. I guess the plastic canteens are still kind of shaped like this, but they don't have the ridge where you would have the cup that's out on top, the all-purpose cup. So, which I only know because I have my grandfather on my dad's side. I have his entire LBE with canteen and cup and everything that he had from basic. And he went through basic the first year the Army introduced the drill sergeant. So that was like 60s.
Damn.
So.
Oh my God! Look.
Oh, this World War II era canteen bottle. So I should have said that. It literally says on there, World War II era canteen bottle.
So I don't have a body today. Just so you guys know, I don't need a body.
Yeah, well, you're a strong, independent head, and you don't need no body.
That's right.
Yeah.
Also, you should be ashamed.
I should be ashamed.
All right, taste that whiskey, sir.
Smells pretty
taste that whiskey.
That's not bad.
Well, I mean, you weren't immediately repulsed.
Yeah, it's not bad. Aftertaste is a little bitey. Not a great aftertaste, but initial taste is pretty good.
All right. So, what in Tarnation is reincarnation? I will say this. I know that, okay, so standard mythos in the Wheel of Time is that, you know, we are all souls living our lives, being woven in and out of the pattern. And when you die, your soul basically goes into a queue or goes on standby somewhere and just waits to be spun out again. We don't really have any particulars other than that. My guess is that you are going to inherit the same bodies the same time each trip around the wheel. Now, you might do different things, like is being pointed out, you know, in the TV show, how the vast departure from the source material that they've taken is a different turning of the wheel. And I'm actually really kind of into it because, you know, the smallest, the most insignificant of decisions that you make on a daily basis can impact the rest of your life. If I choose to hit my snooze button on my alarm, maybe I am now 10 minutes later and I miss what would have been a wreck. Or maybe now that I'm 10 minutes later, I'm going to get into that wreck. So there, and it's known as the butterfly effect, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, the fact that the TV show is so different from the books, I go back and forth on it. But for now, for this conversation, I can fuck with it like hardcore because it makes perfect sense according to the mythos that Robert Jordan laid down, in that, you know, all the things that happened before and will happen again. And we have agency, which is a we have choice, we have free will, which is a topic we've, you know, kicked to death on this show.
Kicking free will to death.
So yeah, so reincarnation is a common thing, and before I kind of turn it over to you to kind of give your opening statements here, I do recall as well an interview with Rafe Judkins where he was talking about the nature of reincarnation, and they wanted to do this concept justice. And so they actually hired someone to be on, or I don't know if they were on set or if they were like with the script writing team, but they hired someone who grew up in a culture that believed in reincarnation the same way most, you know, Western Christians grow up believing in, you know, Western Christianity. And he said he wanted that unique perspective prevalent in the series because he wanted to give an accurate representation of a people who were not only introduced to this culture, but were raised in it, were steeped in it. And this person had some pretty good influence on the script as well. Now, what specifically did they add or remove? I don't know. But I just thought it was kind of an interesting take that reincarnation is such a prevalent plot point in the series that they wanted to get someone who was that familiar with reincarnation. I really dug that. I thought that was cool.
No, that's awesome. And it's always really good to see different shows, series, writers, whoever it may be, going through those extra lengths to take and make sure that they're getting some of the themes or some of the concepts right, and doing so in a fair and respectful manner. So that's always nice. And just like Wolf Brother said, anytime I see like a woo, like it now just makes me think of like all the videos of puppies being like, you know, like our puppies first a woo, and it's always like the cutest thing. Yeah.
It's adorable.
But yeah, so reincarnation in the Wheel of Time, I think it's also important to differentiate reincarnation from resurrection.
Yes.
Because so we see time and time again, as Forsaken or Chosen are killed off in the series, they pop back up, but they always look different, have a different name, but it's the same soul, and it is a form of rebirth. If you take rebirth as just anything that brings a soul back into the living plane, um, but different from reincarnation, it's resurrection. It's the dark one intercepting the soul as it's going back to the pool of souls that the creator has created or made available, um, grabbing that soul and then putting it into a standby body, like an already existing living vessel that has been essentially wiped clean. It's like a hard drive that's already been partitioned and it's formatted, but it's sitting there blank, waiting for the OS to be installed. To go super nerdy with it. And then the dark one's like, cool, now it's time to install, you know, Landfear Linux on this hard drive, you know. Um, but it's not true reincarnation. Because reincarnation goes through the natural purpose, and a reincarnated soul will go through being both, I guess, spiritually and physically born again. It's like every, not every, most or a fair number of isekai anime where like you like, sorry, didn't mean to kill you, or you had a shitty life. Let's give you another chance, and they give them like they're reborn in another world, and like half of them they're actually born again as a baby, and then like the other half they just like take over some kid's body or someone that was like about to die or whatever. There's all kinds of flavors of isekai. Which, if you didn't know what isekai is, it's literally just being dying and being reborn in another world. Branch of anime. So, the reincarnation that we see, the soul of the dragon, Amarasu, and according to the Wheel of Time lore, every soul and every person that exists for the most part, it would be that full on reincarnation where you go
with
like
with
after you
one
die.
with one exception. There's one demographic of soul that does not get reincarnated.
Oh
That
yeah.
is
Well,
effectively
there's two.
ruined, which we can get
Oh,
to
I
later.
guess they're all. They could. You could technically. That's a good question. Would you consider shadow spawn constructs?
Uh, like Murdral and Drekar, I think yes. But Trollocs, I think, are the only ones that we get specific confirmation on the presence of a soul.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I mean is like Semesta also has a soul, just not a reincarnatable soul, just like the Trolloc.
No, his soul isn't Sameshta. His soul is just a normal soul, but it's like on loan to this construct. I thought that was the.
Mm-mm. It's like a. If I even remember right, because we talked about this a while back. Construct soul. Because we were talking about when we were talking
Yeah,
about like who can be reborn.
right. We were talking about the nature of souls in the book
Yeah.
series, but
Yeah, because when Shemesta was born during the Age of Legends, it was strictly forbidden to make genetic alterations on living creatures above the level of plants. And just like the Trollocs, they're incapable of traveling through gateways. Which that brings another interesting question. Is there
wait,
something about the nature of your soul that means you cannot go through
the
gateways?
Nim, the Nim
Yeah,
are unable to travel through
Shadow Spawner
gateways.
constructs. Huh?
Right, but the shadows, but the Trollocs specifically are inhabited by like tortured or damaged souls.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
from
are you
souls
saying
ripped
that
away from people.
right? So the Nim are also
Yes,
constructs
they're
and also cannot go through gateways.
correct. It looks like no construct at all can go through gateways. Um, except for maybe the Korra trees. Actually, no, I don't think even the Korra trees could go through. Well, maybe they can. I don't really ever see it as a thing, but I could see if they couldn't, and that's part of the reason why. Also, what if that was another motive to creating the ways? Was a way to actually move the Korra trees that can't go through the traveling gateways
Ooh.
because they're to some degree constructs as well. Because I think the Korra trees or Chora trees, however you want to say it, are like cuttings of a Vendosora.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so like the Nim and the light sided constructs. When we talked about this last, it was kind of um like it was an artificial soul made or created by the force of the light. Whereas for Shadow Spawn, they rip souls away from already existing people.
Oh, that is. I'm kind of having a moment right now because that's quite interesting.
Yeah. So So yeah, but anyway, either way, amongst Shadow Spawn or the Nim or any of the constructs, um, the souls the souls on the light side of constructs, I believe simply cannot be reincarnated. Period, because they're artificial. Um, I could absolutely be wrong about that. Hold on, I'm looking. Um, well, I love when there's a hyperlink in an article that takes me right back to the article I'm already in. 'Cause I'm like looking up like new things right
Source
now.
cited. I cite myself as a source.
If you ever wanted to see an example of like circular reasoning, that's pretty close right there. Um,
Well, you can totally define the word by using the word itself.
yeah, yeah.
Hi, describe to me a ball. Well, it is very bally, shaped like a ball. Ah, yes, thank you for that beautiful description there. No, so okay, so souls that are put into constructs of the light are able to be spun out and reincarnated. But souls that are put into constructs of the shadow are corrupted and thus no longer able to be reincarnated.
So real quick on and I'm gonna throw it up here, even though they were answered in the chat. Um, the golem go through a gateway. So even if it's a skimming portal, the opening is still essentially a gateway, and
I'll
the
sure
golem
put my
can.
typo up on screen. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. To be honest, I didn't even notice. I put it up there because I'm just like talking through the response. Um, but the golem, Brandon Sanderson has confirmed that the golem can go through gateways, but they are also fundamentally different from all other shadow spawn.
Well, that's
Like
true.
they're like the shadow spawn on super ultra steroids that make them stronger than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, the golem are like scary.
They're like purpose built hunters that would have been like expressly designed and built with the ability to not have the weaknesses of other shadow spawn. And that's also why, like, I think there was only ever 6 or 8 total. I think it was like
Yeah,
6, three male, 3 female, something like
minus
that.
two, right? Didn't Matt end up taking out two of them?
Yeah, well, I mean, at the time that the books start, there was like,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
at the height of their creation, there was like 6, and I think like one had died during the Age of Legends. Another one like withered away because the stasis box failed, or it wasn't like actually stasis away. And then Matt killed 2, and who knows? Maybe there's a fucking golem running around like fucking who was the big general from Full Metal Alchemist that turned out to be a homunculus himself,
Oh, 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 oh,
whatever
oh.
his name was, with the sword.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name.
And everybody was like super. What? It was
Super
like it was a
shocked,
pretty
like,
good reveal.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, he even had a family. How could he be among us?" Easy. I lied.
Oh,
you you said you wouldn't hurt them. I lied.
I lied.
My favorite Darth
Oh.
Vader line from like I think it was like from one of the games with Starkiller or whatever.
Yes.
You said you wouldn't hurt them. I lied.
Oh God. And like even in the episode, this wasn't part of the deal, and neither was turning Han over to this bounty hunter. I am
Yeah.
altering the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. It's like get to the gateway. Do it. Go.
No.
Oh snap. So okay, so
board into one of the golem. Get your hand out of the cookie jar.
get your hand out of the cookie jar.
Put the cookie down.
Put it
Golem
down.
talking to Golem talking to Matt when he's like swinging around the medallion. Put the down, down.
Put the cookie down. I don't want to hurt you. Okay, so we got we got one demographic of souls that are just ruined, and I kind of want to know.
Well, the weird
what
thing
they end
is
up.
the Shadow Spawn souls can reincarnate as Shadow Spawn.
Right, but fuck that. Like,
I mean,
who
like,
would
no,
want-
no. Like once you're like turn, like you like sorry, like you're fucked.
Wait, and it makes sense that I think this is one of the things that the Wheel of Time does really, really well, because it makes sense that all of the tools and weapons and mechanics and machinations and whatever else, everything that the dark side has, the light side has too. So if the dark one has constructs and an avatar, the light side is going to have constructs and an avatar.
I get the avatar. He get the avatar.
I would get the construct. He would get the
get
construct. I get the
Dragon
dragon.
Reborn. He cannot afford.
Cannot
Great
afford.
success.
Great success. I love that we went there. Oh my God, that's, you know what? Hold on, I'm writing that down because that's good. I'm gonna make that a TikTok tonight.
Bro, please do. Please do.
I'm going to the TikTok account right now before I forget.
He cannot afford.
He cannot afford. Great success.
You gotta use some of the art and like put the pictures behind, like the dark one, and the creator behind you or something like. It has potential.
This is my house. Enter please. He is my neighbor. He is pain in my assholes.
Just the creator talking about Shaitan.
I wish I had like a white robe, like, and a white wig, and be like, that would be great. But anyway, reincarnation is a thing that happens. As far as we know, people only reincarnate into other people, which differs from real world reincarnation beliefs, because in real world reincarnation beliefs, you don't have you are not solely stuck in the human reincarnation demographic. In most beliefs here in the real world, you can be reincarnated to an animal, to an insect, to a plant, depending on how virtuous or non-virtuous you are in your life.
I think what Hinduism, where being reincarnated as a person is the best outcome, because that's the only reincarnation path that gives you a way to actually reach
right,
like enlightenment and peace with the universe. It's been forever since I studied in religion, but
yeah, I'm not sure. I know Hinduism and I know Buddhism are kind of similar, and I know that it's one of those where you work your way up, And when you get to be a human, that is the closest. Oh, we got that weekly Real News Frosty mug. You get, as a human, you are closest to enlightenment because that's like the final checkpoint, right? That's like the checkpoint, and then as a human, you have a choice to continue on that path of enlightenment, or you have a choice to not be virtuous and not be good, and slide back down the scale a little bit.
Yeah.
Before
And the idea is
continuing
that
your journey.
depending on
back
how
up.
you conduct your life, the more in line with pursuing enlightenment or spirituality. I'm going to use spirituality in general because I don't want to sit here and pigeonhole it as only enlightenment and me be wrong. So when I say your spiritual destination, um, as you get closer to it, you're more likely to be reincarnated as a human, because human beings are the ones that possess like the vast majority of rational thought and ability to like understand the vast concepts and use them. But as you become unbalanced or skew towards the negative side of the spirituality, there's like a tier list of animals and insects kind of as you go down. But I think like cows are pretty high on the list, and that's part of the reason why bovine are considered like sacred amongst Hindus, most notably in India. Shocker that the area that the religion kind of started has a very high concentration of believers in it. That's weird. Almost like that's how every religion works.
It's almost like
Well,
your geography will affect the spiritual path that you're most likely to embrace.
yeah. But yeah, no, that's a good point. The like in our world, the thoughts about reincarnation, the faiths about reincarnation, uh, don't really dictate that you will come back as a person, but that you want to come back as a person when you're reincarnated, and that the only way to break that there is an inevitable breaking to the cycle of reincarnation when you reach nirvana or whatever the spiritual ultimate destination is. Um, it does not appear that the same is true for the Wheel of Time, both because everyone that can, so all the regular souls that can reincarnate as humans. Um, no, I agree.
We
Briefly.
we have someone who just joined Shamael's camp tonight.
Yeah.
We're spreading the light, I swear.
Actually,
Maybe.
the real reason is she's like, I'm done with this shit. He doesn't want to run the risk of being reincarnated as like farm stock or something like that. But yeah, so people get reincarnated as people, with the obvious caveats of, I say obvious, but the caveats we've already set forward with the constructs, namely shadow spawn, can only be reincarnated as shadow spawn, and that there doesn't seem to be like a tier system. Maybe there actually is with the wolves. Maybe the wolves are like the Wheel of Time's version of like bovine of like cows, and that's why like they seem to be favored by the creator. Maybe it's like one of the species in the Wheel of Time that have like the capacity for logical thought and understand like right from wrong and everything. Reindeer are better than people.
Reindeer are better than people. Love it.
Because
Uh,
we see Gnome goes from it's not reincarnation, but he leaves his earthly human soul and turns into boundless in Teleron Riyadh, which I had to catch myself because the place is Teleron Riyadh, the podcast is Talkaron Riyadh.
yeah, no, Gnome is not on Takaran Riyadh. That is not Gnome.
I mean, not that we know of.
Not that we know of. Jen and Rob and
You know, Tom.
Tom. Thank you.
Yeah,
Wait.
Tom. If Gnome was reincarnated and it was on Talkaron Riyadh, I'm gonna go with Tom. Tom is boundless in human form. I mean, did you see the Warder snack calendar? Come on.
I mean, look, Joe, Jen, and Tom. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I said Rob for some reason. Rob is in the chat lighting us up,
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
and I knew that, but you know what?
Yeah. Yeah. Hopper dies, goes to Tar, and waits to be reborn as well.
As
I don't
a
know if
wolf.
he because he dies again in Tar. So
And he dies the final death. Yeah.
yeah,
But-
this is the final death. So I don't know
Yeah, how does that
what
work
that means.
with respect to the reincarnation?
Well, I know from the
What-
wolf's lore, they're like the final death is it. Like you're just done.
Is it that you're just done, or is it that they don't know what happens next?
I don't. I mean, I don't think they know, but Wolf Brothers saying that like yes, he dies again, but comes back as a hero of the Horn. I'm trying to find it.
I can see where you're going with the.
So Hopper basically says that if the wolves die forever if they die in the dream, and presumably this is because if they die in the dream, the soul is destroyed.
But remember too, this is a book series that is quite famous for unreliable narrators. So it could very well be that that's just what the wolves believe, what they understand.
Yeah, I mean, all we have to go on is that the narration from the wolves, which they seem to have a fair grasp of their afterlife cycle. At least up through going into the dream. I'm not sure because the very last thing that Hopper does is help save Perrin from Slayer, gets mortally wounded, tells him to seek out Boundless before he dies in the dream, dying the final death to never be reincarnated again. Which sounds like a lot easier method for Ishii to go through, like just become a wolf and then die again, and then you're done, rather than going through this whole like I'm gonna turn to the shadow. So this is a good question from Wolf Brother. Seems like Inception because Heroes of the Horn typically go wait in Teleron Riyadh to wait to be cast back into the pattern. So it's like, do wolves get another level of Teleron Riyadh? No, I think they're all in the same iteration of Teleron Riyadh. Because I think Perrin asked Hopper if the same is true for humans, and Hopper's like, I don't really know, but I think so. So I don't know. That being said, also, if that was the truth, other than for plot reasons, why would Mogideon rip Birgitta out of Teleron Riyadh into the waking world instead of just zap?
Well,
I
and
don't
they
know.
even have examples of using balefire in Teleron Riyadh. So what happens to a soul that's hit with balefire in Teleron Riyadh?
I would imagine the same thing that happens to any other soul. Well, no, yeah.
Do you know what happens to a toad that is struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything. That was such a dumb line. Can we all just agree right now? Halle Berry's awesome.
It becomes forever remembered with some of the cringiest dialogue in
stupidest
comic movie history.
ever. Ugh.
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine it would be the same. I mean, it would stand to reason that if the shadow can forever take in souls, because once they convert a soul into like a Trolloc or anything, it can never go back to being a regular soul. Then it
Well,
would also stand to reason that a soul could be entirely destroyed. Because if it can happen to a wolf soul, I don't see like a soul's a
it
soul.
should be able
I
to
think.
happen to a person, right? But
Yeah.
but we also know that, well, we also suspect
Mhm.
that the human soul and the wolf soul and whatever other souls that are doing this are just hanging out outside of time and therefore immortal. Like the soul is immortal. It is the spark that fills the mortal vessel, only to wait until another mortal vessel needs the spark.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
But the
Because
problem you
immortal
run
just
into
means
then,
left to natural processing, you won't die.
yeah,
So,
yeah, left to like nothing happening. Like, they say that, if nothing happens in your life and you live to the ripe old age of what, you can live to 80, 90, 100, you don't know, but you know that you can make it quite far age wise. In this
you can
particular
go the
case, if
distance,
nothing
as they
ever
say.
happens, yeah, right. If nothing ever happens, your soul will endure literally forever to be spun in and out of the pattern of ages. This also suggests that you could go back across the pattern and see your lives, which might be how.
Well, we know that can
Actually,
happen.
no, that can't happen, because Tel'aran'rhiod is within the pattern of ages. To our knowledge, the only person who's been outside of that entirely is Rand. So anybody who is a soul hanging out in Tel'aran'rhiod, they are still within the pattern, because they're still within Tel'aran'rhiod. They're still within a physical, or at least some sort of metaphysical representation of reality.
Yeah.
Because they have confirmed that there is one loom, one pattern of ages, one creator, and one dark one. So for all of Tel'aran'rhiod, for the world, for all the mirror worlds, for all of the dream shards, for all of that, there is one creator, there is one dark one, and there is one pattern of ages, which means that pattern of ages, that freaking lace pattern, has literally all reality that can be conceived and all reality that cannot be conceived.
Well, yeah, because the age lace, the pattern of ages, whichever you want to call it by, is just the all encompassing term for reality, for everything that exists in reality that is spun out by the loom. Um, but it would make sense that you only need one loom, one creator, one dark one. I didn't mean to do the pause like that. That made me sound
Ooh,
super sassy. I didn't mean it super sassy. Um,
this is a
but
good
because
point.
they all exist outside of space time, so they can reach and touch anything across the age lace. You know, not being inhibited by a prison of sorts that is creation itself. But
So Wolf dropping bombs right now, because he says, so dying in Tart is your soul being ripped from the pattern, which is equivalent to balefire. With one correction there. If you are in the world and you get balefired, your soul is not burned out of existence. It is just burned out of that piece of the pattern. You can still be resurrected and come back if you've been
no,
balefired.
you can be reincarnated, cannot be resurrected.
I'm sorry, reincarnated and come back.
Yeah, basically
No, because
the soul's still there.
the body burns away, the soul moves on into the next realm.
The body will decay, but the soul lives on.
Go, it's gospel time. Okay, all right. Hallelujah.
No, I was thinking Harry Potter.
Hallelujah. Oh yeah, that one too.
Not to
Yeah, I
mention
went
the pincers.
totally. I went a totally different direction.
Yeah. Who knew
so-
that the
Still-
super lucky potion was actually just like a shot of like 150 proof whiskey? By all means, sir, come along.
That's exactly what it is. You know it. That's exactly what it is. It's just like some straight up like corn mash.
That there's fucking moonshine.
First distill, you know.
You know, it is super clear, and when they move it, the bubbles go away really fast. That's that. Yeah, it's just
The bigger the
moonshine.
bubbles and the shorter they stay, the higher the proof.
Yeah.
So J.K. Rowling knew what she was doing. She was like, "We got ourselves some shine."
You know what'll make Harry make all the right decisions? A vial of that good old Mountain Dew, which is fun fact.
The rare old Mountain Dew.
Fun fact. The reason they kind of make that joke and call it that is, do you know what the original purpose for the drink Mountain Dew was?
It was a
Originally
whiskey
created.
mixer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Specifically a moonshine mixer.
Yes.
It was initially created to mix with moonshine to cut down on how harsh moonshine typically was, to make it more palatable.
Correct. And the reason
And that's
why,
why
it was
you
called,
also get the slang of Mountain Dew.
and the reason it was called Mountain Dew is because all the stills pumping in the mountains would create that condensation, that dew. And you know,
Makes it even
supposedly
funnier whenever Mountain Dew did the White Lightning flavor. That's also another name.
Oh yeah.
For moonshine.
Yep. I love it. I love it so much.
I wish I had.
But Reincarnation, you know, it really kind of seems like at first glance, and this will kind of be my my final thoughts on it. Now, when it comes to souls and reincarnation, you know, at first glance, it seems pretty simple. It seems like I have a soul. When my body dies, my soul will endure. When the pattern needs my soul, because I have a particular set of skills to go back in, you know, then boom, I am woven into the pattern once again. The sort of differentiation between a normal soul and a soul that is tied to the hero to the horn of Valir is the heroes of the horn appear to be allowed sort of sentience and freedom while they're waiting to be spun back into the wheel. We don't have a lot of information about regular people, regular Joes that die and then come back, and die and come back. We don't really get a lot of information on what they do, but my guess would be that there has to be some sort of benefit to being a hero of the horn. So I'm going to say that heroes of the horn, that's their benefit, that they get that sort of sentience. And that's kind of it. It's kind of a simple topic. Like, I know we talked about it for a while, but it's kind of a simple topic with some deeper undercurrents there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I don't know why I just like default to that sometimes.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
But sorry, apparently I can't type a message and talk at the same time.
Come on, man.
As I've gotten older, I found that I can multitask less and less. But yeah, I think it is relatively simple in terms of like, especially comparing reincarnation. Yeah, comparing. Comparing it to like our world's concept or our age's concept of reincarnation, it seems to be a lot simpler. It's also widely accepted to the point where it was like severely studied, like in the Age of Legends. to where they essentially had an understanding of it, to the point, like, it was the studying of reincarnation that allowed Cimarog to basically look at Rand and be like, you think you're hearing the voice of your past life, but that's not true. That doesn't happen. Like, when people had mental issues and were hearing voices and thought they were hearing like their past lives, it's like they never were. No, like that's the madness, not your past life. And it was like half true, because Luce Theron wasn't actually in Rand's head. It was
Right.
Rand in his own head giving himself a different name, because he's like, I don't believe I'm this person. I refuse to be this person. Um, but we do see as close to concrete proof of reincarnation, I think, as you can get without watching it happen in front of your eyes. Through uh, two scenes, one involving Rand and one involving Avienda. The first one being Rand's trip to Meridian, where he goes through the glass columns and he sees not just his ancestors' lives, but a direct lineage of himself moving backwards amongst the Aiel. And every person he saw through, well, no, that can't be true, because he was seeing through the eyes of a Jin Aiel while Luce Theron was alive. So I take back what I
Right.
said. That
Not a
can't.
descendant of Luce Theron.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, like, I was portraying it as like proof of reincarnation, and I just realized I can't. It could not possibly be.
No, you know what though?
Um,
Hold on.
not possibly
It
be.
it could possibly be. And here's why. Because you think about it, how many generations did he go back? Generations, remember,
I think he
your
saw
your
through 6 different generations.
your generations go up exponentially. You've got 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great grandparents, 16 great great grandparents. He saw through the eyes of one line. That does not mean that Luce Theron is not the progenitor of one of those other family lines. Except for they did call Luce Theron Kinslayer. He did kill all of his children.
Yeah. So
we know.
this is where I realized the problem with it is, one of the lives he sees, I think it's like the first one, witnesses the destruction of the Sharon, who is also alive at who else is also alive at the time of the destruction of the Sharon? Luce Theron. So if he was seeing through his through his soul going back through generations, then he couldn't have seen through the eyes of a Jin Aiel while his soul was living as Luce Theron. Unless the individual soul is different. Well, I know we've seen where things say that, like, whatever soul is reborn as the dragon is the same soul over and over. What if it's actually the attachment of the dragon moniker that is the same every time, but the actual soul that it gets attached to can be different?
Yeah.
Like,
maybe.
Like, whosoever be worthy shall have the power of Kinslayer. Like,
well, and what did we talk about? The body says if you can channel. The soul says what you can channel. And the amount you can channel is usually tied to a combination of how well those two things are in sync.
Yeah. What I was getting at though is, like, so every time we've talked about, like, the dragon being reborn, and this still sticks with reincarnation, all the source material and answers we have say it's always the same soul that is reborn as the dragon, just like it is always the same soul that is reborn as a Marasu.
Right.
But
Okay.
what if the same part of that is only the latching on, like the addition of the dragon or the addition of the Marasu soul, and the actual base soul doesn't always have to be the same one?
Interesting. That would also lend providence to the whole.
Now, to be fair, all that I just said is trying to rationalize a way to make the crystal columns at Ruidion work as looking through your past souls lives rather than anything else. And I think ultimately it's not that case. I just like the thought experiment of it. I don't think it is that case. I think it does just follow lineage tied to the Aiel, because Bran has a lot of lineage before him, and it only follows his Aiel track that follows back through not to Grain, but his actual father's name, who,
Yeah,
like most of history, I can't remember.
yeah. No, that's a good point. That's crazy.
But anyway, so
Anyway,
yeah, no. So actually, yeah, I wonder what happened. Was there enough study of legends to make the world confident that reincarnation exists? Or is it something like the Aes Sedai live so long? So if an Aes Sedai lives for like 300-400 years in the Age of Legends, and they make friends with regular people, non-channelers that only live for like 60 to 100 years, and then they're able to figure out that they got reincarnated. I mean, we know they spent a fair amount of time studying souls because they had to create the souls for the Nim.
right, right.
But it's weird. Like, it seems like reincarnation is a universal truth for the Wheel of Time world. Like, nobody questions it. Like, no, reincarnation is real.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. And that is exactly it. Like it. Well, and that's one of the main sort of plot holes with the book series as well, is that literally everyone shares the exact same religious belief. Like I know they see it manifest in different ways, but everybody believes in the creator and the light and the dark and the.
That's true. I would have loved to have seen like just deniers in the Wheel of Time. They're like, Dark One. No, no, that doesn't exist. I mean, which inevitably happens at another turning, I guess. But
I
we
was about to say,
we missed the turning of the flat earthers.
yeah. Oh well. Oh
Anyway,
well. Well,
um,
thanks so much for being here tonight. Where's my mug? It's right here. Hi. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Thanks so much for
wait, hold
tuning
on.
in.
I can do this. I can do this.
You got it. You could do it. Put your wrist into it. Oh,
Ding.
cheers, Lanja. Mm,
Yeah. Thank you all for being
to
here.
your health.
If you want to hang out with us more, make sure you head on over to blacktowerpod.com, click the Discord link where you can join our Discord. And if you want to be able to hang out and watch these episodes as we record them live, check out our Patreon. And we also frequently, and we keep trying to do this, hang out with our patrons after episode recordings, at least for a little while, so that we can chat and get some feedback on the episode, and just shoot the shit, whatever the case is. I don't know why that's a saying. In all my years of target practicing, I've never targeted actual shit.
I have never targeted actual shit either.
Yeah, I've shot actual shit. Like, I've shot high points before, so who knows?
I
But
hit some cow patties by accident.
oh yeah. But go and check all that stuff out. So for our patrons, we're going to be in the patron chat voice channel after this, hanging out for at least a little bit. And if you want to be able to hang out with us and join in on that, check out our Discord and check out our Patreon, and we'd love to see you there. As for the whole reincarnation topic, let us know what are some parts of this discussion you enjoyed. What made you cringe? Where were you looking at us more shoddy and telling us how wrong we were? Um, And what do you think about reincarnation? What do you think happens ultimately to the soul of a wolf or a human that is killed in Teleron Riyadh? Are they just gone? Is the soul completely gone and destroyed? Do they get reincarnated still? Is it something we just don't understand? Or whatever the case is. Let us know in the comments down below. Share this to all of your friends that like Wheel of Time. And if they don't like Wheel of Time, share this anyway just to annoy them because they should like Wheel of Time because it is fantastic.
It's true. That's
But
a fact.
for
Thanks for
all
being
of us
here.
here,
Thanks for
Right.
listening. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for living. And you know what?
Thanks
Tell your
for-
parents we said
for
thanks
living.
for screwing so that you could be here to listen to us.
And be sincere about it, because we are
Yeah,
genuinely
You mean it.
grateful that your parents boned at some
Like-
point.
Look at your father, your whoever contributed the seed and say, you know what? Thank you so much for laying pipe so that I could listen to Black Hour Podcast.
Really, because look, millions of years of Earth history, and you get to be one of the lucky bastards who are alive at the same time that the Black Tower Podcast exists. I don't know what else to say to that. That's just how it is.
I mean, that's way better. You could live during a time of like flying cars or dinosaurs, but no, you got
No.
Black Tower Podcast.
No.
You won
BTP.
the life lottery.
BTP. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being awesome. Thank you for taking your weekly dose of taint. And wherever you are out there, we hope you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first started. From all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been your Sorovan Mail, rough and tumbler.
That's your stage name. I didn't. We're using our only.
Oh
taint
shit!
name.
Wrong show.
And I have been your Bajan Mahale, Andrew,